Good evening. I'm Tips Mahoy, and this is ArthIntel Evening Edition. Coming up, U.S. embassies urge citizens in the Middle East to be prepared to depart amid fluid situation with Iran. 3 dead, 2 injured in shooting in Twin Falls, Idaho. Thousands demonstrate in Kiev, demand Zelensky reinstate Fedorov as defense minister. Ukrainian reports say young Reformist was fired for planning to run for president. That plus a check of the weather across the country. U.S. embassies across the Middle East issued simultaneous warnings this weekend, urging American citizens to be prepared to depart the region. The embassies cited what they called the unpredictable Iranian regime and warned the security situation remains fluid, with possible flight cancellations and airspace closures. The alerts come as CBS News reports the U.S. and Israel are preparing a new round of strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure, and as officials in Kuwait say they intercepted Iranian drones targeting vital sites. The developments come as President Trump faces domestic pressure over the conflict, with critics warning it could become an unwinnable quagmire. 3 people are dead and at least 2 others injured after what police called an active shooter incident at an In-N-Out Burger in Twin Falls, Idaho. Twin Falls Police Chief Matthew Hicks says a suspected shooter has died, though it's unclear if that person is counted among the 3 dead, and the suspect's identity and motive remain under investigation. Authorities say shots were reported around 2:30 p.m. Saturday, prompting a shelter-in-place order that has since been lifted, with a nearby Chick-fil-A and the Magic Valley Mall also closing as a precaution. "We believe the threat to the community is over," Hicks said, calling it a very hard day for Twin Falls. In-N-Out's chief operating officer said the company is heartbroken and working with police on the ongoing investigation. Thousands of Ukrainians marched through central Kiev, demanding President Volodymyr Zelensky reinstate Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, who was ousted in a surprise mid-July government reshuffle. Reuters reports Fedorov was widely credited with driving military innovation during the war, and speculation has grown that he was pushed out over efforts to tackle alleged corruption in the defense sector. Separately, Ukrainian journalist Vladimir Boyko claims Fedorov was actually fired after Zelensky learned he was preparing a future presidential campaign, allegedly discussing the run with outside groups in a recorded meeting. Zelensky has also since fired Commander-in-Chief Sergei Siersky, but the daily demonstrations in Kiev have continued. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. A federal judge has once again blocked the Trump administration from ending temporary protected status for Somalis, issuing a new administrative stay on Friday after plaintiffs filed an amended complaint. U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs, an Obama appointee, made the ruling. The termination had been set to take effect March 17. In response, Republican Congressman Andy Ogles of Tennessee announced he will file articles of impeachment against Judge Burroughs on Monday, calling her ruling unconstitutional judicial activism. The Department of Homeland Security's general counsel also criticized the judge, saying in his words, "There is defiance, obstruction, and delay in these cases. There are more than 100,000 Somalis living in the U.S., with an estimated 5,000 eligible for TPS. President Trump is publicly breaking with his own U.S. attorney, Jeanine Pirro, after her office dropped a vandalism case against former Olympic canoeist David Hearn. Prosecutors said Friday they'd received new information from the Interior Department indicating the damage to the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool resulted from a botched installation by contractor Atlantic Industrial Coatings, not vandalism as originally charged. But Trump wrote on Truth Social that he disagrees 100% with Pirro's decision, insisting it was a pure case of vandalism, and pointing to surveillance video he says shows material being cut with a knife or box cutter. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum backed Trump's claims Saturday, while Hearn's attorney says the government owes his client an apology for what he called an abuse of government power. Texas state troopers arrested a documented gang member from Houston after a high-speed pursuit in Maverick County. According to Texas DPS, the suspect was smuggling 8 illegal aliens, 5 from Mexico and 3 special interest aliens from China. The arrest was made as part of Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star, aimed at enhancing border security and public safety. DPS trooper Chris Olivares shared video of the arrest on social media. Two Ohio Democratic state lawmakers, Reps. Chris Glassburn and Sean Brennan, have introduced House Joint Resolution 8, a measure that would lower the state's voting age from 18 to 16. Glassburn said in a news release that 16-year-olds are contributing members of society and that giving them the vote fosters responsibility for the future. The bill joins similar statewide efforts in New York, Maine, Minnesota, Connecticut, and Kansas, though opponents point to Fordham Institute data showing only 29% of Ohio high schoolers read at national proficiency levels, questioning the timing of the push. Opponents also cite polling on the target age group's political attitudes as cause for concern, though those figures come from advocacy and research groups rather than the bill's sponsors. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. NFL training camps are officially underway for all 32 teams as the 2026 season approaches. ESPN's NFL Nation reporters are on site daily, tracking position battles, roster bubble players, and depth chart changes at facilities from Rochester, New York to Renton, Washington. Fans can follow updated depth charts and breakout candidates for every team as camps continue. The first full week of preseason action kicks off August 13th. The Atlanta Braves made a last-minute pitching change Saturday against the Washington Nationals. Starter Reynaldo Lopez was scratched just 35 minutes before game time with left knee inflammation. Martin Perez, originally slated to start Sunday, took his place on the mound. Lopez, who owns a 3-1 record and 3.79 ERA, had been strong in his last outing, tossing 5-2-3 scoreless innings in Baltimore, while Perez enters at 6-6 with a 3.49 ERA as the Braves look to complete a series sweep. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. And finally, here's a look at temperatures across the country right now. It's hottest in Phoenix at 113 degrees, while Chicago is the coolest spot on the board this evening at 68. That's ArthIntel Evening Edition for now 9 stories coast to coast. I'm Tips Mahoy for ArthIntel Signal Over Noise. That's the signal for today. Like, subscribe, and visit arthintel.com for complete coverage.